Hey, everybody. Welcome to my world. How's your world doing today? Are you staying cool? It's hot out there. I can't believe it. It's like 95 degrees here in the Midwestern part of Ohio. It was even hotter yesterday when I was in Cincinnati. Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know if I can take this hot weather. Of course, I can say that until this summer ends and we go into winter, and then it's going to get cold. Oh, well, you can't win, right? Well, anyhow, guys, welcome to my world, and you are welcome to it. So let's get on with the disclaimer, because if we don't do that, the powers that be will go nuts. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. Take what we say with a big grain of salt, and always do your own research and due diligence. We're not responsible for and expressly disclaim all liability for damages of any kind arising out of use, reference to, or reliance on any information contained in this broadcast. Any persons or characters mentioned are, for the most part, fictional or as close to it as we can get. So sit back, relax, and chill out. And oh, by the way, tell your friends about us too. Every Wednesday, live. Hey, did you bring your favorite beverage and snacks? Are you sitting back and staying comfortable? You got the air conditioning on, or at least fans? Boy, I'll tell you what, it is hot out right now, and it's supposed to cool down tomorrow. That will be a miracle when it happens, I'll tell you. Wow, what do we have going on today? I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're going to talk a little bit about tsunamis and plate tectonics and all that good stuff. I wonder if plate tectonics are something that you drink. Tonic. Well, not really, but we'll get into that. I have to do some shout outs, guys. And a big shout out, of course, to the Trim Radio Network for carrying the show. Because, hey, if we didn't have Trim Radio Network, we couldn't do the show, could we? What do we have going on here? Oh, yeah, there we are. There's our new web page. Or actually, pages. But I'll tell you what, that's the Trim Radio Network. We cut the bull and serve the truth, and that's it. Tonight, we get away with clowning around a little bit, but we do have a lot of truth available, and we'll be getting into that. And if you take a look at our webpage at trimradio.com, you notice we go all over the world, and we are worldwide. You can take a look at our story in the news and leadership. Oh, the leadership. Let's click on that and see who's the leader. Who's the leader? Who's the leader of the band? Wow. Oh, there they are. Michael Bejas. He's the founder and co-CEO along with Ruscella Stefan. And Ruscella, of course, has the Red Pill reality show. I guess I'm the chief relations officer for some reason. How do I do relations? I don't know. Anyhow, they have my mug on there. And we have Victoria Smith, Chief Marketing Officer, and whiz bang when it comes to setting up the shows. And very good person, too. I mean, she's something else. And of course, I can't say enough about these guys. I don't want to say enough about myself because I don't need to talk about myself. But these other guys are good people. Trust me, they're good people. But if you take a look at the Trim Radio Network, you can have your own show. All you have to do is contact us. That's that little button over here that says contact us. Send us an email, give us your phone number, all the particulars about the show that you want to do. Hey, and we'll tell you how to get started. It's easy. If I can push buttons, if I can remember to push buttons, guess what? You can too. It's easy to do. If you want to advertise with us, go ahead, let us know. And we'll get back to you very quickly. Now, all the stuff that we do, if you advertise for our shows, the money that comes in just goes for paying airtime. We don't get paid. We really don't want to get paid, but we want to provide different material for you to take a look at. Okay, it's all on the up and up because we're not going to try to lead you down the path of mainstream media. No, we don't do that. So check us out. And if you want to support us, you can hit the collectibles, click on shop. And when you do that, then we get these little black boxes come up when it moves. Let's see. Oh, there they are. Okay, you can buy t-shirts, hats, mugs, morphing mugs, all kinds of stuff. Okay. And every cent that you send in, hey, it's going to go towards the show. Okay. I believe we still have clocks you can get, rubber case for AirPods, trim radio women's fitted racerback tank tops, and our short sleeve unisex t-shirt with We Cut the Bull Trim Radio Network right there. I'm going to have to get one of those. I don't have one, and I'm going to have to get one. I don't need an embroidered beanie because it gets a little warm during the summertime, don't you think? Well, anyhow, we have that going on. Our creators, our different shows, they're listed here. And if you want to do your show, then we'll list it here too. Boy, this thing is, where's the magical boxes? They're not showing up. Well, the channels, we have live streams, we have the vault. Oh, what's going on here? Shows. There we are, the different shows and the times. We've got Money and Change every Sunday at 7 p.m. We have Life Walk with Christ God with Michael Bejas. My World, Live, Laugh, and Whatever. Guess what? It's every Wednesday night. We have Victoria Smith's Natural Marketer Podcast. That's every Thursday. We have the Positude Podcast. We have the Red Pill Reality Show. Now that's, I believe that's a 3-hour show. Now I've been on that a few times, and it's good. It's interesting. I mean, Rascala really has some good topics. We have Adventure Waits Around the Bend. Check that one out. We have Ranched It Up with Tigger and Beck. And if you want to get your show listed here, we'll go ahead and do it because we'd like to get a lot of shows out there. So there you go with our shows. What else is going on here? Well, collectibles, we already talked about that. Yeah, that was the shopping part. But check out our webpage here. I can't say enough about it. Victoria Smith did a fantastic job with this, and she'll show you how to market your company or your club. And it's an amazing thing. Well, we have our Trim Radio Network page. Well, I have my World, Live, Laugh, and Whatever page. And that's on Facebook. And you can check that page out. And all you have to do is ask, I'll invite you into the group. No problem. And so, just ask and ye shall receive. Anyhow, we've got that going on, our different groups here. And, I post different things that we're doing and different things that go out to the members and everything. But that's my world. Okay, check us out on Facebook. It's easy to do. Another thing I want to talk about is Rusty Duck's Custom Pens and Blanks. Rusty Duck's Custom Pens and Blanks. I can't say enough about Phil over at Rusty Duck's Custom Pens and Blanks because I'll tell you what, he makes some awesome pens. And what if you don't want a pen? You want to get a pizza cutter? Ooh, hey, he makes those too. He makes a lot of different things, and they're beautiful. And they come out of the shop perfect, beautiful, great display cases. I can't say enough about them. Okay, check them out. Rusty Duck's Custom Pens and Blanks on Facebook. Yeah, they're there. Big shout out to Money and Change. Of course, that's me every Sunday, and we always talk about a lot of stuff that's going on, and we want to show you how to save money because things could get tight. It could get tough, and when it does, and you're not prepared, you're in trouble. Also, we've got the Big Family Homestead with Brad and Krista. We have the Deep South Homestead at Pecan Grove. and that's with Danny and Wanda King. Great people. I mean, really great people. Also, we have Southern Prepper One with Dave Kobler. I've known Dave for 16 years, and he's a great guy. He really is. He doesn't like a lot of emails. He likes to be called. So I call him once in a great while because I know he's busy. And I'll tell you what, he's a super guy, really is. We also have Patriot Nurse. We have Prepper Nurse One. We have Prepper Princess, Amber Stork. And I just posted something for her on Money and Change on that website. And she's talking about really saving money. And she says, you're not doing enough. And it's easy to do. It's just getting in the habit of doing it. So that's available with Amber Stork. LDS Prepper, of course, with Dave Gilmore. Oh yeah, here comes the spiel. I always talk about these radios, the GMRS radios. This is an Ocean 935G Plus with a Nagoya 771 antenna. I can talk 35 miles with this based on my location. I can get to a repeater and talk out another 90 miles or maybe a little bit more depending on the conditions. But the nice thing about this is you don't have to take a test. You pay a $35 fee. It's good for a 10-year license. 10 years. And anybody in your family can use it. All they have to do is behave themselves when they're using it. So you could have several GMRS radios and they could be XYZ 3, 4, 5, 6, and Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. But I'll tell you what, in an emergency, these things come in handy. Look at what's been going on with tsunamis, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods. These things are gems. I'll tell you what. I don't get them at Wally World. I don't go to Costco for these. Buy two-way radios or better safe radios. Those are the two that I basically use. There are others, but these are great radios. They really are, and they're fairly easy to program. And I can basically monitor one channel while I'm talking on another. It's great. GMRS radios for an emergency, fantastic. For just talking and having fun, they're great. Okay, enough of that. I don't get any money for talking about this stuff. I really don't. All I want to do is say, when we have an emergency and the cell phones don't work, the GMRS radios will. And they'll work locally. And if the repeaters are working, you can get to a repeater and you can talk out further. Now, I've got on my radio, I think I've got 6 repeaters, maybe 7. And so if I ever go up to the University of Findlay for anything, well, I take it with me and I can talk up there on the repeater. If I go to Sydney, Ohio, for any reason, I can talk there. If I go to Dayton, Ohio, I'm on their repeaters there. If I want to go to Cincinnati, I've got their repeaters. Their repeaters I had to pay a fee for because they're private repeaters. But they're interesting. It's a good form of communication, okay? Especially during an emergency. Oh, yeah, speaking of emergencies, did you hear about that tsunami? Yeah, did you hear about the tsunami? If you're hard of hearing, I didn't say salami, I said tsunami. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen a tsunami, but people are saying, I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea what a tsunami is. I have no idea. Well, if you live on the West Coast or the East Coast, or up in Alaska, or out in Hawaii, you are going to get a situation where tsunamis do happen. Hey, there's Jerry. Hiya, Jerry. Hope everything's going well for you. Thanks for listening. But I'll tell you what, these tsunamis, at one point I took geology classes, and I said I went to 6 different colleges and universities. Yeah, I did. Class here, class there, no class, whatever. And one of the classes that I actually had 3 in geology, and we studied about tsunamis. And what you have to do, you have to understand that the Earth, all of the continents are floating on this magma way down in the center of the Earth. And these plates have moved at different times. And a long time ago, you had a place that was called Gondwana land. And that was where South America and Africa and parts of the US and a little bit of, I believe, Europe were all one area. Then they started drifting apart because these plates moved and they separated over time. And then you ended up with the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean and so forth. Well, these plates rotate and they mesh up against each other. And when they do, and they move in opposite directions, or they collide and go underneath each other, I believe that's subinduction, if I remember right. What happens is you get earthquakes, and you get them out in California. The New Madrid Fault going from, Illinois, Missouri, on down into Louisiana. They had some nasty stuff. In one case, there was an earthquake that caused the Mississippi River to back up and go backwards. Instead of going from north to south, at one point, it went from south to north. And then you had the Ohio River Valley and all of the different earthquake zones. Matter of fact, where I'm at, hey, I'm close to an earthquake fault. And a little town called Anna, Ohio, is the source of earthquakes. They have them there maybe every couple of weeks. Who knows? Way down deep, these plates are moving. And then you get tremors. And when I went to Xavier University in Cincinnati, Xavier was right on the edge of a fault. So you run into that. And a lot of places are going to be subject to earthquakes from time to time. And if New Madrid cuts out and we have another one, watch out because it's going to get nasty. And they've been watching that one for probably 50, 60 years or longer. But what happens with tsunamis? Well, when you have an earthquake, and sometimes the earth really buckles going one direction and another plate going another direction, or one goes under the other, you get an earthquake. And when that happens, then you get like a ripple effect in a lake. You drop a pebble there and you watch it go out. Well, that's what basically happens with a tsunami. And that's what's happened over in Russia. And I think it was Kamchatka in that neighborhood. And there was a live camera and it was showing some things. And so I thought, well, hey, we might as well talk about that, because if you're on the West Coast and listening to the show, or you're up in Alaska and listening to the show, you're subject to earthquakes, you're subject to tsunamis. Now, what happens? That little ripple of water is a lot bigger than a ripple. It's magnified, and this thing will go and go and go. It's like you drop that pebble in the water and it goes and goes and goes until it hits something, and then it reflects back and it goes back and forth and back and forth. It's an easy experiment to do. However, with a tsunami, the amount of water can go up 2 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet. Depends on the strength of the tsunami and how close you are to the earthquake. And that's what's scary. And so they've had tsunamis in Japan. They've had tsunamis in Alaska. And there's a lot of damage from that. And usually when they talk about earthquakes in Hawaii or tsunamis coming to Hawaii, they say head for the hills. And that's a literal fact. You want to head for the hills. You want to get to the highest possible spot you can get. And I heard something today. They said, gee, Jerry, if you were in a two-story building in Honolulu and a big tsunami came, guess what? You could get killed, drowned. And they're saying climb to if you're in a 20-story building and you're up on the 4th floor and the water's coming your way, go higher, go up to the 6th floor, 7th floor, 8th floor, 10th floor, whatever, to get away from these big waves. And of course, they're going to crash into things. I've seen videos of this stuff. One time I was in a tsunami, believe it or not. There was something that happened around Chicago. It was strange. And the action happened someplace in Illinois. And we were over at, I believe it was Jackson, Michigan. And we were on the beach on Lake Michigan. And they said, we're going to have a tsunami effect due to an earthquake. And they said, watch the water and see how much it would rise. Well, guess what? It only went up probably a couple inches. That was it. But that was the tsunami, okay? But let's take a look at some of the stuff that I've got on tsunamis and see if you have a readiness kit too. Everybody talks about a get out of town bag or bug out bag and so forth. It's good to have. Let's see what we've got here. Come on, hit the right buttons, buddy. All right, tsunamis. Oh yeah, here's a video of one. Take a look at this. If I can get it to go. There's the earthquake.
Earthquake followed by a giant wave of 7 to 4 feet hit coastlines of different nations on both sides of the international dateline on 30th July. From Russia in the north to Peru in the south, tsunami warnings blared across the Pacific coastlines. It has hit Japan, Hawaii Islands, Alaska, Philippines, Peru, and west coast of America braces for it.
The most important thing to understand about tsunami is this is not a surf wave. It's not a wind wave. A tsunami is the entire ocean column that is being lifted up above that high tide level there because of that extreme movement of the Earth's crust with the earthquake there. So this is a significant planetary event that we've just witnessed. And when you have a wind wave or a surf wave, you think of that at the beach and that nice gentle sound there at the coast. This isn't what this is. This is an ocean flood.
Medics in the far eastern Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia continued surgery on a patient despite a powerful 8.8 magnitude earthquake. As the earth shook, people collected their belongings and rushed away to safety. Soon the powerful tsunami waves inundated the entire shoreline. Emergency workers started to remove rubble of damaged buildings.
That's in Russia.
At kindergarten number 15, there was a collapse of the building facade, but thank God no one was injured. But there is damage to the building.
Huge tsunami waves hit the coastline of Japan. Much of Japan's eastern seaboard, devastated by a powerful earthquake and tsunami in 2011, was ordered to evacuate. Japan predicts bigger waves than what has hit so far.
As a phenomenon, tsunamis can be bigger than the first one. Please continue evacuation until the alert is lifted.
Tsunami warnings are also in place for Alaska, California, Papua New Guinea, and other coasts south towards New Zealand.
Yeah. And now you can see what those tsunamis can do. I was doing some research here, and different things pop up for the American Red Cross. And what should you do before a tsunami? So prepare so you can protect. Know your risks. Tsunamis can strike any U.S. coast, but the risk is greatest for communities with Pacific and Caribbean coastlines. Yeah, the Caribbean coastlines, such as beaches, bays, lagoons, harbors, and river mouths, and areas along rivers and streams that lead to the ocean. And those are the most vulnerable. If you live on or near a coast, find out if you are in a tsunami hazard zone. Now, make plans to stay safe. Learn about your community's tsunami evacuation plan. And some communities have maps with evacuation zones and routes. So you want to know and practice these routes. Now, down in Florida, in case of, like, for example, a hurricane, if you look at the streets, there'll be a sign that'll say evacuation route, and it'll show a sign or with an arrow on it, or you'll see blue reflectors in the roadway, and you follow those blue reflectors out, and that's how they mark things down there. If your community does not have a tsunami evacuation plan, identify a safe place at least 100 feet, what they say, 30 meters, above sea level, or at least 1 mile inland. Be ready to move quickly to higher ground or inland. Don't wait for an official alert. Get the heck out of Dodge, guys. If you are near the coast, a tsunami could follow an earthquake. As soon as the shaking stops, move quickly to higher ground or inland away from the coast. Don't wait for an official alert. Okay? Time to get out of Dodge. Now, there are two ways that you may be warned if, an official tsunami alert. Sometimes they have sirens or whatever. Natural sign of a tsunami may be your first, best, or only warning that a tsunami is on its way. Natural signs include earthquakes, loud roars from the ocean, or unusual ocean behavior, such as sudden rise of water, a wall of water, or sudden retreat from the water showing the ocean floor. If you experience any of those signs, get out of Dodge. Okay, tsunami alerts are shared on local radio, TV, weather radios, and other emergency alert systems. Some places, the police just start broadcasting from their cars on their loudspeakers, too. Okay, so here we go. Tsunami information statement. An earthquake has occurred, but there is no threat, or it was very far away, and the threat has not been determined. What to do? Monitor the local information. A tsunami watch is a distant earthquake that has occurred. A tsunami is possible. So be aware. Monitor local emergency information and be prepared to take action if necessary. A tsunami advisory. A tsunami with dangerous currents or wave is expected or occurring. Take action, stay out of the water, and get away from the beach and waterways and follow instructions from the local officials. In other words, get out of Dodge. Tsunami warning. A tsunami may cause widespread flooding or occur with the flooding. Dangerous coastal flooding and powerful currents are possible and may continue for several hours or days after the initial arrival. So, danger, take immediate action, move to high ground or inland. Do you have a bug out bag? You really ought to have one. I keep talking about that in some of the other shows. And it comes in handy because you never know what you're going to need. I'll tell you what, I've got 2 bug out bags. I actually have 2. One I keep, it's got emergency first aid kit and stuff like that. And the other one I have, it's a backpack and it's got everything in there. Matter of fact, I think this week I'm going to have to go through it to make sure the batteries are still good. Make sure that I've got the water packets in there. Make sure that I've got extra batteries. Make sure I've got a small survival radio, you know, the type you crank up. Make sure that I've got extra toilet paper. I mean, could you imagine having to bug out and you forgot the toilet paper? I mean, that would be a problem. You know, no toilet paper, what do you do? Oh, yeah, use a leaf, and just my luck, it happens to be poison ivy. Oh, but that would be a nasty deal. Well, anyhow, there's a checklist for the tsunamis, and oh, you get one in English and Spanish, so let's click on it. Let's see what happens. Know your risk, make the plans to be safe. And there it is. Stay healthy. When in doubt, throw it out. Throw away food that got wet or warm. You know, how to clean up safely, how to take care of yourself. Basic common sense, okay? So much for tsunamis. Here in the Midwest, I don't think we'll ever have a tsunami. We'll have earthquakes, and they can get nasty. But it's only on the coasts and then down in the Caribbean. And trust me, they could have a tsunami hit Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, okay, places like that. They could go out into the Atlantic too. So be careful and keep your eyes and ears open, okay? All right, so much for safety. Wow, University of Findlay, I forgot to talk about them. www.findlay.edu. Check them out. 12-to-1 student faculty ratio. 3,200 plus students. Usually it's around about 4,000 students. It's a good school. They're from 32 states and 51 countries. We talked a little bit about that on Money and Change. But I have a video today with a certain person, and let's see what she's going to say.
I never felt uncomfortable asking a professor for help and felt like the professors truly knew me as a person and a student and deeply cared about my success within the program. The community focus of the program provided amazing fieldwork experiences and allowed me to accept a job within the community setting that others were not as qualified for or as confident or comfortable with.
The small class sizes in UF's OT program provides personalized support and fosters close relationships with faculty and the classmates. The program offers extensive hands-on experiences, allowing for active engagement in real-life scenarios, all while maintaining a fun and engaging learning environment. It creates a tight-knit, supportive community that makes the experience both rewarding and enjoyable. And I'm so thankful that I chose UF's OT program.
Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie. I chose the University of Findlay's occupational therapy program for its very small class size and dedicated faculty that help to offer personalized mentorship. This has helped me to refine my clinical reasoning skills and intervention strategies. Overall, being a part of a supportive academic community has not only strengthened my knowledge base, but has reinforced my commitment to making a difference in the lives of others through occupational therapy.
Hi, my name's Madison. I'm an OTD student here at the University of Findlay. What I love most about the program is the class size, which allows for a lot of one-on-one attention from the faculty members, as well as the environment that the university gives, allowing for me to feel nice and comfortable at home with the individuals in my cohort.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm a student here at the University of Findlay in the OTD program. My favorite thing about the program is having in-class time to learn different assessments and having skills checks to practice skills that we will actually use out in the field. This is really helpful because it shows us how to administer tests that we will actually be using and how to interact with clients.
My name is Natalie Hellman, an OTD student. One of the biggest reasons that I chose UF's occupational therapy program
was the ability to do the early insurance option that allowed me to be accepted into the program as a senior in high school.
The combination of lecture and hands-on learning at UF is perfect and allows students to fully understand the material in a classroom setting before translating that to hands-on learning with students and even community members. We were presented with so many patient simulations that allowed me to feel prepared for any fieldwork or capstone experience, and I never felt unprepared for any experience throughout the program.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you what, guys. I had a condition where it was basically a stroke. And when I had to take physical therapy, the instructors that I had got their doctorate from the University of Findlay. They were excellent. They knew everything. I mean, they were fantastic. And within about 5 or 6 weeks, I was doing okay. And when I went in there, I couldn't walk. And after they worked with me for 5 or 6 weeks, hey, I was back walking again, back driving a car. I mean, hey, they did wonders. And so that's the occupational therapy group at the University of Findlay. Check them out. It's a good school. If it wasn't, I wouldn't recommend them. Okay. What else is going on? Oh, yeah. Did you know that I guess Coca-Cola is going to take the artificial stuff out of it, and they're going to start putting sugar back in? And then PepsiCo is going to be doing the same thing. In some countries, you cannot put artificial stuff in Coke or Pepsi or any product, and so they got away with it here. That was one thing I was going to talk about. Let me see if I can get the clicking button today on the computer is acting up. It's got plenty of power, but I'll tell you what, it's driving me nuts. Here we are. Okay. Yasmin Ye Kuzku and Yuhal Goris and Turkish dentistry professors studied 64 students' teeth. The participants were broken up into 3 groups depending on consumption levels, including no consumption. And after just 1 month of drinking Coca-Cola, both high and low consumption participants had discolored teeth. And those with high consumption, however, experienced the most change, which, according to the study, was outside the range of clinically acceptable. While toothbrushing and diet had an impact on the level of discoloration, they couldn't prevent it. So regularly drinking Coca-Cola, which Kosku and Goris noted promotes the most significant tooth staining, is a big contributor, big word for me right now, to enamel damage, and is because of drinking such a high acid drink. Yeah. And then according to the Cleveland Clinic, enamel protects your teeth from cavities, infections, and decay. And once it's gone, it can't grow back, leaving you prone to abscesses and all that kind of good stuff. So do you really want to have a Coke or a Pepsi? My big thing is drink water as much as you can. My big thing is I love iced tea. And I can't have really more than 2 of them a day. And I really have to watch it. It causes kidney stones, believe it or not, in some people. So I have to watch the amount of iced tea that I have. And that can discolor teeth too. And you go to your dentist at least twice a year. Make sure everything gets cleaned up and polished up, and always brush your teeth. And if you don't brush your teeth, well, guess what? You're going to have problems. Okay? Oh, what else is going on? Oh, yeah, if I just put this up. You like watermelon? I mean, it's summertime. I can eat watermelon year round, especially those small round ones. Oh, God, those are good. I don't care really about the big ones because sometimes, you get seeds. I like seedless. I really can't ingest any seeds. So I like the seedless. But anyhow, take a look at that watermelon. Doesn't that make your mouth water? Well, of course, it's watermelon. And when I go to a supermarket and I'm looking in the produce section, I look down at the fruits and vegetables and stuff, I look for watermelon. Sometimes they pre-slice it, they cube it, or they make these big cubes and throw them in the tubs. It beats peeling the watermelon, but sometimes I like to eat the watermelon rind too. That white section? And sometimes that's good to eat. And sometimes people pickle it, believe it or not. And it's actually good. It's a sweet pickle. But watermelon is something else. And you can actually eat too much according to this article. And it says, love a nice piece of refreshing watermelon to cool down those hot summer days. Well, you're not alone. But eating too much of anything is typically a bad thing, and watermelon is no exception. So you can safely eat 2 servings of watermelon each day, but it's never a good idea to go on a diet that features only one type of food. And that was Laura Whitson said that. She was a registered dietitian, and she was telling that to the Cleveland Clinic. And a watermelon cleanse is a fad. Like any other, it will deprive your body of other nutrients it needs to function properly. So while watermelon may be incredibly hydrating and nutritious, consuming it may also cause digestive problems, the nonprofit medical center warns. And I'll tell you what, the seeds, if they get in your bowels and they get lodged in there, things can cause a lot of problems, okay? And it's considered to be a high food or FODMAP food, which indicates there are certain sugars that may cause intestinal stress, according to Johns Hopkins. Okay. So you got to watch what you eat. Okay. Too much of a good thing. Yeah. Too much of that watermelon can cause problems. Boy, I'm putting out the health notes, aren't I? Hey, back when I was growing up, back in the 50s and 60s, I think it was late 50s and very early 60s, there was a movie that was out called Amos and Andy. It was based off an old radio show. And I guess it went from NBC to CBS. And I remember watching it, and I'd come home from school, and it was Amos and Andy was on, among other shows, and I would watch that, or maybe it was Saturday morning, and it took place in Harlem, and originally it took place actually in Chicago, on a radio station, and later on everything went to Harlem in New York. But it was interesting because you had these different characters. And you had the kingfish who was always conniving and causing problems. And you had Andy who was gullible. And then you had the cab driver. And he always was the common sense person. And then there was Mama. Oh, if the kingfish or George Stevens was conniving and Mama found out about it and she had her umbrella, I'll tell you what, the kingfish was in trouble. She didn't hesitate to use that umbrella. And, all these different characters. And I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the deal with the characters? And some of them were actually, I'll use the term thespian, okay? And they're actors. And this guy that played George Stevens actually he did classicals like Othello and so forth. He was a Shakespearean actor, and Andy was a conniver. Actually, no, he was the gullible one, and he was always had tricks played on him. And they did one on invisible glass. And I saw that one time and I laughed so hard because Calhoun, the attorney, was listening to Kingfish and he was trying to make money off of Andy by getting him to invest $500 in a company that made invisible glass. And what happened was the attorney was hiding in a closet with plates of glass and he took a hammer and he would hit them. But Kingfish, on the other hand, was holding this invisible glass and he'd acted like he dropped it, which he didn't hold anything in his hand, and the glass would hit the floor and break. And I'll tell you, it was funny. It was a funny show. It was great comedy, and you can find it on YouTube. But the series is like 25 minutes a show, and that was one thing. They did have a beer commercial, and this is how I found it. I was looking for different types of beer, and there was one called Blatt's Beer. Let's see if I can get this going.
To the library of American folklore. Those treasured stories such as Huck Finn, Paul Bunyan, and Rip Van Winkle, which have brought us laughter and joy for generations, come the warm, lovable tales of Amos and Andy, created by Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll, presented by the Blatt's Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a division of Shenley Industries, on behalf of Blatt's dealers everywhere. Now enjoy Blatt's, Milwaukee's finest beer.
I'm from Milwaukee, and I know it's Blatt, wherever you go. Blatt is the name you will always be. Blatt in Milwaukee.
Guess what? That was about it. I that's all I could find. Those videos are out there. Trust me, they are. There was another comedian. We'll bring him up at a different time. We had a death of he was a comedian. He was a decent person. A guy by the name of Tom Lair. And I'll tell you what. Now, Tom Lair, when I was going to the University of Findlay, which was actually at that time Findlay College, we founded a radio station up there, WVFC, the Voice of Findlay College. It was an AM station. And we would get records from time to time from different companies. We'd get them free, gratis records. And we would play them. I mean, we didn't have a budget. We didn't have really a building. Our broadcast studio was in a room that was about 20 by 20, and that was about it. We had 2 transcription turntables from WLW radio, believe it or not. We got those, and some reel-to-reel recorders and all kinds of stuff. But here I was on the show, and it was usually mine was 4 to 5, and I had another show 7 to 8. And 7 to 8 for that night's show, we had different types of comedy, and Tom Lair was one of them. And he would write music, and the guy was a mathematician. He taught in colleges and universities. I mean, the guy was a Harvard graduate in mathematics. He taught out in California, and I guess he wanted to take a break, and he started writing rhymes and stuff like that. And we would play them on the radio station. And we would do commercials and so forth. And we'd do a breakout. And here's Tom Lair. Boom. And we would play it. And he did one, Poisoning Pigeons in the Park. And with music, he would play the piano. And he'd have another one there. The Boy Scouts, Be Prepared. And on and on and on. Well, he finally died at 97 years old this week. Okay, so a little tribute to Tom Lair because, well, he was funny. And not too many people remember him, but he was funny. I bet you Jerry would remember Tom Lair. Hopefully he does. Well, let's see what's going on. Old Math. Did I have that video brought up? I don't think I did. Well, we won't do that one, but instead, here's one. Well, actually, that one's, it moved on me. Son of a gun. What's going on here? Okay, this is one that was written, and there's a lady that plays it. So listen to this one, if I can get it to go.
I love my friends, and they love me. We're just as close as we can be, and just because we really care, whatever we do, share. I got it from Agnes, she got it from Jim, but we all know it must have been Louise who gave it to him. Now she got it from Harry, got it from Bree, and Jerry got it from Marie, got it from me. Jim was got it from Daddy, she got it from Tom, who picked it up in the Ireland to kiss in the blarney spoon. Pierre gave it to Sheila, who must have got it there. He got it from Francois and Jacques. Lucky Pierre. Max got it from Edith, who gets it every spring. She got it from her daddy, who just gives her everything. She then gave it to Daniel, whose spaniel has it now. Our dentist even got it, and we're still wondering. But I got it from Agnes, or maybe it was Sue, or Millie, or Billy, or Willie, or Gilly, it doesn't matter who. It might have been in the pub, or in the club, or in the loo, and if you will be my friends, and I'm not, I'd you blessed night. Give it to you.
And that was a Tom Lair thing they played during COVID. Well, this goes before COVID. And let's see if I can get this one to go and you'll like it. If I can get it to go.
I always like to end on a positive note.
There's Tom.
Here is a rousing, uplifting song, which is guaranteed to cheer you up. When you attend a funeral, it is sad to think that sooner or later those you love will do the same for you. And you may have thought it tragic, not to mention other adjectives, to think of all the weeping they will do. But don't you worry, no more ashes, no more sackcloth, and an armband made of black cloth will someday never more adorn a sleeve. For if the bomb that drops on you gets your friends and neighbors too, there'll be nobody left behind to grieve, and we will all go together when we go. What a comforting fact that is to know. Universal bereavement and inspiring achievement. Yes, we all will go together when we go. We will all go together when we go. All suffused with an incandescent glow. No one will have the endurance to collect on his insurance. Lloyds of London will be loaded when they go. We will all fry together when we fry. We'll be French fried potatoes by and by. There will be no more misery when the world is our rotisserie. Yes, we all will fry together when we fry. We will all bake together when we bake. There'll be nobody present at the wake. With complete participation in that grand incineration, nearly 3 billion hunks of well done steak. We will all char together when we char, and let there be no moaning of the bar. Just sing out a Te-Deum when you see that ICBM, and the party will be come as you are. We will all burn together when we burn. There'll be no need to stand and wait your turn. When it's time for the fallout and St. Peter calls us all out, we'll just drop our agendas and adjourn. We will all go together when we go. Every Hottentot and every Eskimo. When the air becomes uranium, we will all go simultaneous. Yes, we all will go together when we all go together. Yes, we all will go together when
Oh, that was just a little bit of Tom Lear. Actually, we played that quite a bit. Poisoning Pigeons in the Park was a good one. And there were others. And Tom Lear was good. And he only lasted so long that he went back to teaching mathematics and theater. That's kind of strange, teaching theater and mathematics. I never had a mathematics teacher that taught theater. I think what they did was create theater in the room, especially in physics. Oh my God. So much fun. Anyhow, guys, that's about all I've got this week, right here on the Trim Radio Network with My World. Hopefully your world is going to be cooler tomorrow, and hopefully you have a good weekend, and we will see you on Sunday with Money and Change at 7 p.m., and we will be live. So check the Money and Page Change on Facebook, and with that, have a good week, what's left of it, okay? And we all go together when we go. See ya.
In a world drowning in noise, where truth is often buried beneath layers of propaganda and misinformation, there's a need for a different kind of a network of creators that cuts through the clutter, that doesn't shy away from tough topics, and that delivers the unfiltered truth. We are Trim Radio Network. We are creators, we are innovators, we are investigators. We're the ones who aren't afraid to call a spade a spade. If you're ready to participate in thought-provoking discussions, informational topics, and of course today's biggest headlines, subscribe to our YouTube channel today. We're Trim Radio Network. We're cutting the bull and serving the truth.